Uganda's public debt is set to increase from the current 48.4% to 53.1% in the financial year 2023, according to the approved budget for the financial year 2023-2024 by the Parliament of Uganda. For a debt to be sustainable, particularly for developing countries, of which Uganda is part, International Monetary Fund says it must not exceed 50% of the country's gross domestic product (GDP), and Uganda has made its commitment to maintain it. The State Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, Amos Lugolobi, says that Uganda needs to raise money to finance the budget, largely through revenue and non-tax revenue. However, resources are less than what the country requires to finance the entire budget, including financing the debt portfolio, which creates a fiscal deficit.
We curtail our appetite so that the budget does not increase astronomically, and we have tried to do that in order to reduce the fiscal deficit. But at the same time, we need to grow our GDP, because the ratio you are talking about is the debt to GDP ratio, and the sustainable level has to be maintained at 50%. We have not yet hit that ceiling in nominal terms. We are now hovering around 48%. But the point I'm making here is we have to keep it within those sustainable levels according to our Charter of Fiscal Responsibility. We have made that commitment that we shall maintain it below 50%. And how do we do that? By growing our GDP.
Over the medium term, external debt payments have projected to increase due to the increase in commercial loans over the last few years. Interest payments are projected to amount to 6.135 trillion shillings, equivalent to 2.5% of GDP. Of this, 5.227 trillion shillings are projected for domestic interest payments, while 907.9 billion shillings will be foreign interest payments and commitment fees. Most of the government borrowing is for investment in infrastructure. In addition, Government of Uganda has made interventions intended to accelerate GDP growth, mainly in energy resources and minerals, to raise it.
And energy sector, the interventions are the undertaking to ensure that we have more capacity within the energy and mineral sector.
Furthermore, Engineer Ziria Wako says that most of the revenues come from electricity, industries, and value addition. Engineer Ziria Wako also reveals that they have a strategy that they are implementing, starting with large customers who are in steel and housing, so they can contribute to the tax base, create more jobs, and contribute to the GDP of the country.
For example, the steel rolling, the products are inputs to the housing sector of the country. Others are engaged in value addition to our raw agriculture products. And because of this, the more we focus on affordability for manufacturers and industries, the more we create jobs, the more we add value to our raw products as a country, and the more we increase revenue not only for the sector, but also contribution to the tax base, and the more we speak to the improved or increased GDP and socio-economic transformation of the country.
Given the planned unwinding of crisis measures and implementation of fiscal consolidation, Uganda's public debt continues to be sustainable in the medium term. Uganda has a moderate risk of external and overall public debt distress with limited space to absorb shocks. Nevertheless, stress tests highlight breaches of external debt burden, especially in relation to export shocks. Specifically, given a medium shock could lead to a breach of external debt service indicators, Uganda has limited space to absorb those shocks. Kirimunda, Masekatsime for SMART24 TV Business Today.